Hello everybody and welcome to the next video. This time it's gonna be a bit different. I'm gonna do a series about the road to Immortal, and I'm gonna explain you real quick what's gonna happen in this series and what's gonna happen in this video. The road to Immortal series. Every episode is gonna be 8 minutes long. I will drop on every Saturday at 16 CST, and we will talk about important stuff to increase actually your gameplay and your mental health or attitude in Dota 2. I'm gonna try to teach you some stuff that I've learned in the last like 5 years where I grinded from 1k to 10k MMR. And the examples are laning, farming, rotations, mental attitude, and even more. Every single thing what you guys gonna ask me, I'm gonna try to like make maybe an episode out of it if I think it's like relevant for you to actually increase your MMR and get better at the game. And my main focus is gonna be position 2, 3, and mainly 4, because I'm a position 4 player obviously, but I can play position 2 and 3 as well, but not as good as position 4, but I'm gonna talk about all 3 of these roles. In this video we're gonna talk about the fundamentals of Dota 2. We're gonna start with Lasthitting, then we're gonna talk about map awareness, and then we're gonna talk about positioning. While I'm gonna talk about these points, I'm gonna give you some solutions, how you can get better on it, and how you can like try to practice these points in order to achieve your goal and get better in the game. Let's talk about last hits as a support. Yes, I know last hits are very tempting and they feel very nice because you get the farm. But as a support, I want you guys to stop thinking about last hits. Think about it different. Think about like an objective to actually harass your enemies every single time you can. Stop thinking about last hits, just think about pressuring the enemies on the lane. You can support your offlaner at last hitting or secure him range creeps or any other creeps. But other than that, you need to pressure the enemies at any state of the lane. You need to pressure them, as I do in this clip right now. I'm literally just hitting the Undying. And I know, even though it's an Undying, he's stronger than me. Look at me what I'm doing. I'm literally just pressuring them, and I'm trying to like support my nicks at last hitting or denying. Other than that, I'm blocking the small camps, and I'm pulling maybe, and I'm harassing the Undying to apply pressure and take the pressure away from my nicks. So as a support, stop thinking so much about CS, think about pressure in the lane. In order to last hit as a core, you need a good laning position, or you need a lot of resources to actually sustain the harass from the enemies. Playing offlane and last hitting is way more different than playing middle and last hitting. Middle is like way more practicable than offlane, because in offlane it's like sometimes 2 people last hitting at the same time, and you can't really practice for that. You can only practice for yourself, and you never know what's gonna happen with your teammates, so think about that as well. If you wanna practice last hitting, I would recommend you like doing a custom game where you can practice it, or just like creating a lobby and just practice on last hitting creeps with like level 1, 2, and 3, and without any item, so you get a good feeling how it is without items. And as you can see in this situation right now, my laning position is pretty bad right now. I need to pull it back somehow, and I told my partner to actually pull the wave back if it's possible, even though he's against the Eng, and he did it. And this is great. And as you can see, the wave is gonna like push into my favor, and I'm gonna have a chill time actually last hitting under my tower. The best possible play in this situation is actually to hold the wave and keep it in front of my tower. The problem with that is it's a double range lane, so I need to go back, otherwise they're gonna harass me a lot. But as you can see, under the tower, I got every single last hit, because I can just last it. I've practiced it so much. I have like 20k games on my deck, and I just know how to last it. Even as a support, it doesn't really matter. You can practice it as well. You will not need it that much as a support, but in order to play core as well as a support, you need to practice last hitting a lot. Practice it in some lobby games or like custom games where you can actually last hit creeps. That's how I learned it the most. Now we are talking about map awareness. Map awareness is something you can't really practice. It just comes with experience. So in order to get a good map awareness, you need to be like that plays a lot of Dota, watches a lot of replays if you want to. It doesn't matter if it's from yourself or pro players, so you just get an understanding of the map, how people are moving and what they are doing. And I'm gonna show you this example here, how I abuse the map awareness I know I can actually do. As you can see, me and the Snapfire are middle, I can see the Brute bottom, and in this moment right now, I see the Brute bottom, I see the Pango middle, and I see the Medusa top. That basically means there are only maximum 2 supports on the bottom lane with the Brute, and I have a blink, and I'm almost having my echo. That's the reason why I'm running bottom with the Snapfire together. And even though the Brute sees us, he feels safe because he's like, okay, they don't have to damage for me. He does not expect like everybody being there like instantly and just killing him. And then we just jump him and he actually dies because we have the damage for it. It is close, but we actually have it. And without like understanding the map, that Medusa is top, Pango middle, and the Brute is bottom, we would not actually run just bottom without the smoke. And that's just what, this is just what map awareness gives you actually. The understanding where the enemies can play and what can you do with it? Because I'm 99% sure that the supports are behind Pango because he's showing on the mid lane. Because mid lane is one of the most scariest parts of the map, because people love it to actually gank on the mid lane, and in high MMRs, supports know that and they are preparing for it behind them. You're gonna see in the next 30 seconds, we kill the brute, and then you're gonna see what the enemies are. We killed the brute, I see Pango middle, I TP middle, and now I see the supports. They expected that I TP'd bottom and I used all my spells, but I did not, I still have my echo. And that's like the reason why I get a very good echo right there, I got a double kill, and I'm actually owning them. Just because I understood where the enemies are, and I understood that the supports are middle and not bottom. Double kill, and everything is good. And this is like what map awareness makes. You need to watch your map closely in these moments, and you need to understand where the enemies are. And if you actually do that and you understand it, then you will be a very good player because you understand how the enemies are thinking and how they move. But as I said before, in order to actually learn that, you need to play a lot of games. Map awareness is not something to like practice. It just comes with experience. Positioning in Dota. We're just going to talk about it quickly because there's going to be a separate video just about the topic positioning in Dota as a core and as a support. There's so many different situations where you can like position yourself in team fights or in the lane that I could talk like 20 hours about it. So let's just look at this. As a spellcaster, let's make one rule clear. As a spellcaster, you want to stay outside on the edge of the fight. Like you don't want to be like in the middle of it. And if you just watch the replay, you're gonna see that I never really went into the fight. I was like always on the edge and I could use all my spells because of that. As you can see my positioning right now on the top left, I'm not in the middle of the fight. My Pango is. And I'm not gonna go into the middle of the fight because I know if I do it, I'm gonna instantly die against anything. So I'm just like sitting on the edge of the fight. I'm just sitting outside there. I'm looking what's gonna happen. I see my Morphling is strong. We're still fighting. And then I'm just supporting them. And when I see the enemies are like retreating, then I'm starting to go in as a spellcaster and trying to be like dominant and helping my cores and my team. So as a spellcaster, you should never really just go in. You should always like wait, be on the edge of the fight and try to survive. Because as a spellcaster, you are very strong if you get your spells out. If you don't, you will just die. The fight is completely over for you and you might even miss out a winning team fight for yourself because you are dead before anything happens. Now we are going to watch the opposite. This can be a core and this can be a support. But if you watch us closely, the Husker and the Clockwork, they are leading and they are going in for the team first. In this situation, even the Undying could do that, but they decided to let the Clock and Husker go first and start the fight and burst somebody. And that's what they're doing, as you can see. They start the fight on Pangolier, they get a perfect pick, and they're gonna try to kill him, and they actually manage to kill him. But if you see my positioning as a Rubik on the top left right now, I'm just having a free game, and I can just do whatever I want because I'm on the edge of the fight. But I'm trying to give you like an explanation what it could be. Like you could stay outside of the fight as support or core, and you can go in as a support or as a core. Same impact. But if you go in first, it's mostly of the times you're just sacrificing your own life to actually get a good team fight.